The invitation arrived on Arielle Stone's desk like a whisper from another world. Heavy cream cardstock embossed with a single flame symbol. No return address. Inside, just 3 lines of elegant dot script. Ember Island welcomes you to the switch. 1 month, one new identity. One chance to see truth. The boat departs June 1st. Come alone. Arielle traced her finger over the flame emblem, a smile playing at the corners of her lips for the first time in months. The timing couldn't be more perfect. The board meeting that morning had been brutal. Another round of thinly veiled suggestions that perhaps the 27-year-old daughter of tech visionary James Stone wasn't quite ready to lead his empire. The headlines still haunted every news cycle. Stone heiress linked to privacy breach scandal. Never mind that she'd been framed. Never mind that she'd spent her entire life preparing for this role. She needed to disappear. And Ember Island, the legendary retreat where the ultra-wealthy went to shed their identities, was calling. The boat cut through fog so thick it seemed solid, revealing nothing of their destination until the very last moment. When Ember Island finally materialized, Arielle's breath caught. Rising from the mist were structures that seemed to defy physics. Glass villas suspended between earth and sky, their mirrored surfaces reflecting fractured light across the water. "First time?" asked a woman beside her, mid-40s with sharp eyes and a sharper smile. Arielle nodded, maintaining the practiced, neutral expression she'd perfected in boardrooms. "Is it that obvious?" "Everyone has that same look their first time. I'm Heidi." She extended her hand, her grip firm and assessing. Something about her gaze lingered a beat too long. As they disembarked, staff in simple gray uniforms guided guests toward a central pavilion. Arielle studied them carefully. According to the sparse information she'd gathered about the switch, guests would be randomly assigned new identities for the month, some as fellow guests, some as staff. The ultimate social experiment for those who had everything except perspective. The pavilion's interior was a cathedral of glass and light, dominated by a circular table where a woman stood waiting. She wore white, her silver hair cascading down her back, her age impossible to determine. "Welcome to Ember Island. I am the curator." Her voice carried effortlessly. "For the next 30 days, you will live as someone else. You will eat as they eat, sleep where they sleep, perform their duties, and experience their reality. When you leave, you will understand something essential that was previously hidden from you." She gestured to mirrored boxes arranged on the table. "Your new identities await. The rules are simple: no revealing your true self, no outside communication, no leaving before the month concludes. Break these rules, and you forfeit not just your place here, but something far more valuable." One by one, guests approached to select their boxes. When Arielle's turn came, she felt the curator's eyes follow her with unusual intensity. Inside her box, gray staff uniform, service credentials for Ari Summers, and quarters assignment in the staff dormitory. She'd gotten her wish. For the next month, billionaire Arielle Stone would be invisible. The staff quarters were sparse but clean, a far cry from her penthouse, but not the hardship some of her fellow billionaires might consider it. Her roommate, a quiet woman named Maya who managed the island's hydroponics gardens, barely acknowledged her arrival. Arielle's first assignment was maintenance support, essentially the person called when anything broke. She reported to the maintenance shed at dawn, where she met her supervisor. "You're the new recruit?" He emerged from beneath a golf cart, wiping grease from his hands. "I'm Kai." Arielle found herself momentarily speechless. Kai Rivera was not what she expected. Early 30s, with intelligent eyes that crinkled at the corners when he smiled, and an easy confidence that seemed at odds with his position. His hands were calloused from work, but his movements had a deliberate grace. "Ari," she managed, extending her hand. "Apparently I'm your assistant." "Well, Ari, hope you're ready to get those hands dirty. Rich people break a lot of stuff." Over the next week, Arielle shadowed Kai across the island, fixing everything from climate systems in the glass villas to the floating garden platforms that drifted in the island's central lagoon. She learned that the mirrors weren't just aesthetic, they were embedded with technology that adjusted to occupants' moods, subtly shifting tint and reflection. "The whole island is watching." Kai remarked one evening as they repaired a mirror panel. Makes you wonder what they're really looking for. They? Arielle asked, carefully. Kai's eyes met hers in the mirror. Whoever's really running this show, you think it's just about rich people playing dress-up? Before she could respond, their tablets chimed with an urgent repair request from Villa 7. As they approached, raised voices echoed from inside. A man in a borrowed chef's uniform was berating a guest. You have no idea who I really am, he hissed. When this is over, but it's not over, the guest replied calmly. And right now, you're the one who serves me. Kai cleared his throat. Mirror maintenance, he announced. The man in the chef's uniform stormed out, brushing past them. Arielle recognized him instantly. Braden Knox, her father's former CFO and her current nemesis on the Stone Technologies board. Some people can't handle the role reversal, Kai murmured as they entered, especially the ones with the most to lose. That night, unable to sleep, Arielle slipped out to the beach. The mirrored villas reflected moonlight across the water like scattered stars. She was startled by a figure emerging from the shadows. Trouble sleeping, Ari? It was Kai, barefoot in the sand. Just thinking, she replied. Have you worked here long? Long enough to know this place changes people, sometimes for better, sometimes not. He skipped a stone across the dark water. What about you? What brought you to Ember Island? Arielle chose her words carefully. I needed perspective. Funny thing about perspective, Kai said. Sometimes what you're looking at isn't as important as where you're standing when you look. He studied her face. You're not really maintenance staff material, are you? Her heart raced. What makes you say that? Your hands. First day, they were too soft. Rich people hands. His smile was gentle. Don't worry. Your secret's safe. We've all got them here. 2 weeks in, Arielle had settled into a rhythm. During the day, she worked alongside Kai, observing the island's guests struggling with their temporary identities. At night, she secretly used her coding skills to probe the island's systems, searching for information about the privacy breach that had damaged her reputation. What she found disturbed her. The mirrors weren't just mood responsive, they were collecting data, emotional responses, conversations, behavioral patterns, all being compiled into profiles. But for what purpose? Her investigation was interrupted when her tablet chimed with a message. Midnight. North Point. Come alone. The northern tip of the island was marked by a solitary mirror obelisk that caught the moonlight like a beacon. Arielle approached cautiously, seeing her reflection fragment and multiply as she drew near. I was beginning to think you wouldn't come. Heidi stepped from behind the obelisk. Gone was her guest attire, replaced by practical dark clothing. Or should I call you Ms. Stone? Arielle froze. Who are you? Someone who's been paid very well to keep an eye on you. Your board is concerned about your extended absence. You're following me? How did you even get this invitation? Heidi smiled thinly. Money opens doors, even to Ember Island. Braden Knox wants to know if you're planning to sell your controlling interest while you're conveniently unreachable. I should have known he'd send someone. Arielle's mind raced. What happens now? That depends. I was hired to observe, not interfere. But I've observed something else too. Something about this island isn't right. Heidi gestured to the obelisk. These mirrors are watching us. All of us. Before Arielle could respond, a voice called from the darkness. Ari, you out here? Kai approached, his expression shifting from concern to wariness as he spotted Heidi. Everything okay? Fine, Arielle said quickly. Just getting some air. Heidi nodded politely and retreated, leaving Arielle with a significant look that said their conversation wasn't over. Friend of yours? Kai asked. Not exactly. Arielle sighed. Kai, if I tell you something, will you keep it between us? His eyes were serious in the moonlight. Try me. I think there's something happening on this island. Something beyond the switch. The mirrors are collecting data on everyone. Instead of surprise, Kai's expression showed grim confirmation. I know. That's why I'm here too. In Kai's small quarters, he revealed his truth. He wasn't maintenance staff, but Kaiden Rivera, heir to Rivera Pharmaceuticals, who had walked away from Billions after his sister died in what was officially ruled an accident. It wasn't an accident, he said, showing Arielle documents on a hidden tablet. It was a cover-up. My sister discovered dangerous side effects in a drug that was fast-tracked through approval. When she threatened to go public, she was silenced. The partnership behind that drug? Rivera Pharmaceuticals and Stone Technologies' medical division. Arielle felt the blood drain from her face. My father's company? That's impossible. He would never… Maybe not knowingly, Kai conceded. The evidence suggests the operation was compartmentalized. But someone at Stone Tech was involved, and after your father died, they've been systematically erasing the trail. The privacy breach, Arielle whispered. I was investigating unusual data access patterns in our medical division when suddenly I was accused of exposing user data. It was a setup. Kai nodded. I came to Ember Island because rumors suggested the same people behind the cover-up were involved with this place. The data harvesting is too sophisticated, too targeted. We need to find out who the curator really is, Arielle said. And what happens to all that mirror data? With Heidi's reluctant help, she'd decided corporate espionage was one thing, potential murder cover-ups another. They formulated a plan. While Kai created a distraction at the evening gathering, Arielle and Heidi would access the curator's private quarters. The curator's villa was different from the others. Its mirrors faced inward rather than outward, creating an infinite regression of reflections. As they searched, Arielle found a hidden terminal behind one mirror panel. Look at this, she whispered, fingers flying across the keyboard. Profiles on everyone. Not just current guests, but everyone who's ever come to the island. Medical histories, psychological assessments, financial vulnerabilities. It's blackmail material, Heidi said. No, Arielle murmured, digging deeper. It's more complex. These are rehabilitation protocols. Each guest has a customized program designed to address specific ethical blind spots or psychological damage. A voice spoke from behind them. It's not rehabilitation. It's redemption. The curator stood in the doorway, but something about her had changed. Without her flowing white garments and silver hair, now revealed as an elaborate wig, she appeared younger, sharper, and hauntingly familiar. Mom? Arielle whispered. Seraphine Stone stepped forward, her face so similar to Arielle's, solemn. I wondered when you'd find your way here. You have your father's persistence. You're dead, Arielle said numbly. You died when I was 4. I disappeared, Seraphine corrected, when I discovered what was happening at Stone Tech. The same corruption your father later tried to fight. I realized I couldn't stop it conventionally. So I created this place where the powerful confront themselves in the mirror. All this time, Arielle struggled to process the revelation. Why not tell me? Why let me believe? Because you needed to find your own way here, Seraphine said. And now that you have, we can finish what your father started. The final week of the switch unfolded like a carefully orchestrated symphony. Using the mirror system, they compiled irrefutable evidence against those responsible for both the drug cover-up and the attempt to frame Arielle. Braden Knox, discovering his chef disguise had put him in proximity to incriminating conversations among board members playing at being guests, realized too late he was the one being served. On the last night, as guests prepared to reclaim their identities, the curator called for a special gathering. One by one, she presented each person with a mirror. Not the technological marvels that filled the island, but simple hand mirrors. What you've seen here is a reflection of truth, she told them. What you do with that truth is your choice. When she reached Arielle, their eyes met in silent understanding. The mirror she handed her daughter was different. Embedded in its handle was a small data crystal containing everything they'd uncovered. As the boat prepared to return them to the mainland the next morning, Arielle found Kai waiting at the dock. So, billionaire heiress, he said with a half-smile. What happens now? Arielle looked back at the mirrored villas gleaming in the dawn light. Now we take what we've learned here and reflect it back into the world. Together? He asked, extending his hand. She took it, feeling the calluses earned during his time on the island. Together. From the highest villa, Seraphine watched her daughter depart with Kai, a bittersweet smile on her face. Behind her, Heidi approached with a tablet. The next group of guests has confirmed their arrival, she said. including some who might be particularly resistant to self-reflection. Seraphine nodded. Then we'll need to make their mirrors especially clear. As the boat disappeared into the morning mist, a new vessel approached from the opposite direction. On its deck stood a solitary figure clutching an invitation marked with a flame. The mirrors of Ember Island awaited, ready to reveal new truths to those brave enough or desperate enough to face them.